Welcome to the exam room. I'm Dr. Neil Barnard, and please pay special attention to today's program. We are going to talk about supplements. Which ones do I need, and maybe which ones am I overdoing it on? Joining me today are registered dietitians Maggie Neola and Susan Levin, and physician Jim Loomis from the Barnard Medical Center. Susan, let me start with you. Are there supplements I need?
Yes, there's one supplement that you need, and that is vitamin B12. Super easy to supplement. Just take a pill, and there you go. But that's the only one.
What's it for?
Well, it's a B vitamin that's closely linked to your neurological health, so it is super important to take it. You don't want to mess around and risk not having that nutrient in your diet. So
you run the risk of anemia if you don't.
That's true too, yeah. And the government tells us that everyone eventually needs to take a B12 supplement because we're actually unable to absorb it as we age.
And I think it's especially important for people who follow a plant-based diet or a vegan diet because B12 doesn't occur naturally in food. It's actually in bacteria, and it's in the bacteria on the meat. And when we don't eat meat, we don't get those bacteria. So for people who don't eat meat, it's especially important to get B12.
And historically, it might have actually been on all our dirty fruits and vegetables when we were eating, but we're much more hygienic.
Right. You pull the carrot out of the ground, you waft the dirt off, and you eat it. You didn't need to
little-
worry about
eat
B12.
a little poo,
eating a
your
little
B12,
dirt, right?
but
Exactly.
I'm kind of happy with the way we're doing it now,
Really?
keeping it clean.
You're creeping me out, guys. Okay, so just so I got it clear, animals don't make B12, plants don't make B12, bacteria make it, and there are B12 producing bacteria in a cow's gut. And
In our gut too.
And in our gut
it's
too.
It's just too far down to absorb.
so presumably we're
theoretically.
not absorbing it.
Right.
Okay. How much do I need?
2.4 micrograms a day. So it's really
So it's a pill I
nothing.
pick up with a tweezer.
It's a pill you pick up with a microscope and a tweezer. Actually, I've never seen a supplement that's much less than hundreds of the amount you need, but that's okay because it's water soluble. You'll flush out what you don't need.
Okay. Maggie, are there other supplements I need? Do I need vitamin D, for example?
Vitamin D is super important. Something, again, you want to talk with your clinician about, making sure you get enough of it, check those levels, especially if you're not spending much time in the sun.
So vitamin D is made by?
So it's actually made in your body and activated by the sun, which is pretty cool.
It's more like a hormone than a vitamin, actually. It's a bit of a misnomer, but I think because we don't get out in the sun as much as we used to, we're calling it an essential nutrient.
Right. It's very important for bone health. It plays an essential role in calcium metabolism. There may be some other functions around heart health and cancer prevention, although the evidence around that is much less clear.
Okay, so I'm in the sun a fair amount. How do I know if the amount in my blood is adequate, Jim?
Easily detected by a blood test.
Blood test, and if I'm low, then what do I do?
Supplement. Yeah,
You supplement.
Exactly.
So I've had the bad judgment to move to Washington, D.C., where there's no sun and no warmth for months on end, so I'm not getting sun. Jim, what's a good level for me to supplement, assuming that I should?
So I usually recommend about 800 international units of vitamin D3 daily. I think that usually is enough for people who don't get in the sun as much as they should or live at a more northern latitude.
Okay, and a person says, wait, I follow a vegan diet. Can I find vegan D3?
Yes. I can't believe how many vegan D3s have come out on the market now, so it's very easy to find that product.
And I've heard that up to about 2,000 I use a day is safe.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the upper limit is maybe 4,000 a day. So if you're starting to self-prescribe more than that, I would talk to a doctor because this is a fat-soluble vitamin. It stores in your body. It does not flush out.
All right, taking my B12, and if sun is an issue, I'm going to take my D. But there is a whole shelf after shelf after shelf of all kinds of other pills that they want me to buy. Do I need those supplements? Do I need to be swallowing beta-carotene and vitamin E and fish oil and all that kind of stuff?
It's interesting. I think that this industry has exploded because we don't talk about food anymore. It's been in the relatively recent past that we figured out even what food was made out of. And when we did that, when we started to identify the individual components of food, we got this great idea that we could take the food apart, take all the good stuff, put it in a little pill, and we could take it and we didn't really have to worry about eating food anymore.
My prime example for that is fiber. People think they need to take a fiber supplement, but you can get that through fruits, vegetables, legumes, grains, all these plant-based foods.
It's the saddest thing, I have to say. You go into a drugstore and you see all of these supplements that are really made because people are eating so much meat, cheese, eggs that don't have any fiber in them, or
Exactly.
even fiber-depleted grains, and they sell you the fiber back at 20 times the price in these little bottles.
And not only that, if you look at the research, we know that societies or cultures who have very high fiber diets, really colon cancer, for example, is non-existent. But studies have shown if you take a fiber supplement, it doesn't change your risk for colon cancer at all. So it's not the fiber in and of itself, although it is important, it's the food
Food you
that
find
has,
it in.
exactly.
And research after research, the supplements just do not do what the foods do. And even the landmark study looked at vitamin A and smoking risk and found that the people who took the vitamin A supplement increased their risk for lung cancer, the smokers, versus the people who ate the vitamin A rich foods, they decreased their risk for lung cancer.
It
It's a
may
big
well
difference.
be that the problem is that if I take just beta carotene, it will suppress the absorption of all the other carotenoids that are in the carrots and so forth. Same with vitamin E. There are 8 forms of vitamin E, and if I take one in a pill, I don't absorb the others so well. At least that's maybe a theory.
And there's a recent study showed that if you take a multivitamin, you die sooner than if you don't. And now it may not be the multivitamin, but it really creates what we call a moral hazard when we take these antibiotics. I mean, these multivitamins, that we forego healthy living because we feel like we're protected. As long as I'm taking an antioxidant and a fiber pill and a multivitamin, I don't have to worry about eating sweet potatoes. So that's another big problem. It may not be a direct effect of the vitamins themselves, but it's the change in behavior that the vitamins cause because we think we're okay.
That's interesting.
Okay. Back to B12 just real quick. I would venture to guess that if you went into a hematology clinic, most of the people who are low in B12 are not vegans.
No.
I am guessing,
They're
tell me
older.
if I'm right, these
Right.
are meat eaters who are taking an acid blocking drug, or they're getting a little bit older, they're not making the acid you need to pull the B12 off of protein, or they're on metformin or some other drug that inhibits B12 absorption. Sound right?
Which is so sad because it's so easy and inexpensive to supplement with B12. So I can't encourage people, no matter what diet or what they're doing in their life, just take a B12. It's so simple.
All right. Is that the government's position?
Sure. Yes. I mean, the government does say that eventually everyone is going to need to take a B12 supplement. So start getting the habit now because it's not going to hurt. It can only help.
Okay, so here's what I'm taking from this. Overall, you can get your nutrition from foods, but a couple of exceptions. B12 is an important supplement, and vitamin D if you're not getting sun, and the rest sounds kind of optional to me. All right, thanks to the panel. Thanks to all of you.